Boom. Here we go. All right. Once again, driver's license webinar 2. Thanks for tuning in. And you guys are gonna get a lot of information. I'm gonna go over some little bit of history on why I did another webinar. And then I'm gonna we're just gonna be mainly dealing with the templates, what to give them, how to deal with the opposition, because always there's some type of opposition. And remember, when you're getting opposition, check your attitude, because a lot of opposition, most of the opposition comes from your dealing with. In this community, in this space, a lot of people have a negative, but remember, you are the creator of all things you are experiencing, and take responsibility for that. All right. I know on the screen you guys see my Department of State authenticated passport application. Where was I? All right. This process, I would like for everyone, a few of you, I know you already done my passport process. I don't know if everybody's done it, but this is to be done after you do the passport process, if you can. Some of you guys got issues with the IRS, got issues with child support that will not allow you to get a passport until that is rectified. So one of the documents you're going to be submitting is your authenticated copy of your passport application, along with the other stuff I'm going to show you. So that's what I'm adding to it. Plus, I changed the language in some of the documents, and I'm also adding years ago we talked about the injunction, so that has been changed. It's kind of, you can still look at it like an injunction, but that is going to be an option you can include with submitting your paperwork. All right. Someone said they're waiting for 2 months for the authentication. Yes, authentication takes a while. Sometimes they call you, and if you don't answer, they'll send you a letter. But it took me 3-4 months to get mine back, and COVID has not been helping that situation out at all. All right, so let's go to, close your screen out. Let's go here. I'm gonna share the screen in a minute. As soon as all right. Every state, well, I won't say every. Yes, Michael, you have to request.
This is Hindsight Radio. I represent it. The information station changing the nation.
All right, let's go over here. Share the screen. It can be affected. Sorry. People are still I guess there's new people coming in. Your benefits of putting your car in a trust. A trust is a legal arrangement that allows you to transfer ownership of your assets, such as your car, to a trustee. This can offer a number of advantages, including asset protection, privacy, and the ability to pass down your assets to future generations. One of the primary benefits of putting your car in a trust is asset protection. If you own a car, it is considered an asset that can be seized to pay off debts or lawsuits. By putting your car into a trust, you can protect it from creditors and ensure that it remains in your control, even in the event of financial difficulties. Let me stop right there. The best way to protect a car in a trust is to make it an irrevocable trust. If it's a standard, living trust, but it's not irrevocable, whoever's involved in that trust will have issues with the trust. Say if the trustee has financial issues, tax issues, because in some senses, the trustee is considered the legal owner of the asset. The grantor, if he's got tax issues or other lawsuits, they can penetrate that trust, depending on how it's written. But if it's an irrevocable trust considered its own entity, and none of the parties involved have any liability because that asset belongs to that trust. The trustee is just managing it. All right. So some people will say, oh, if it's irrevocable, you can't change it, this, that, and the other. That's true. But if you have wording in that trust that gives the trustee power to buy and sell and title property and take title to property, you could put a car in the trust and it can come out of it, long as that language is there. And that's going to be a very important language to have in there, especially when you're registering the car. They are going to look for that. When I get to that part, I'll go into detail. Another advantage of putting your car into a trust is privacy. When you put your car into a trust, it is no longer in your name and therefore not listed as one of your assets. This can provide you with a sense of privacy and confidentiality and help to keep your financial information private. In addition to asset protection and privacy, putting your car into a trust can also allow you to pass down your assets to future generations. So depending on how you write this trust, you can say who gets it next. There won't no arguments over your property. Make sure nobody else is trying to get in. Doesn't look like it. We're still missing 2 people. All right. That means your car can be passed to your children or other beneficiaries without the need for probate court proceedings. This can save your loved ones time, money, and stress and ensure that your assets are distributed according to your wishes. In conclusion, putting your car in a trust offers a number of benefits, including asset protection, privacy, the ability to pass down your assets to future generations. The other benefit that's not mentioned here, when you buy a car with a trust, especially if you take a loan out, that is considered a business expense. So that loan can be written off. Those payments, those monthly payments, you could write them off as an expense to the trust. Registration, any fees, oil changes, all that stuff can be become a tax credit. Now, if you have it in your name and you're using it what they call personal use, they're not going to give you that tax break on some of the stuff that you do unless you're using that specific car for work-related stuff. And then you have to separate from what's personal and what's not. But when it's already titled to a trust, it's a business expense. When you open up a bank account for a trust, it's a business account. So that's the major benefit to having your car in a trust. All right. So those are the benefits. So you got to create your trust before you can buy a car, title it into a trust. You got to create a trust. Creating a trust is a process of establishing a legal arrangement which trustees hold and manage assets such as property or financial assets on behalf of one or more beneficiaries. The process of creating a trust involves several steps, including 1, determine the purpose of the trust. The purpose of this webinar, you creating a trust for a car. Now, this is what I do. I have several trusts. I have a trust specifically how you've been given a label from the time you exited your mom's womb. And this is what you have identified with for most of your life. This is my label. This is my name. You had no choice in that name. You might even appreciate the name. Not saying, hey, be upset about being named. Purpose of me saying this is to get people to understand that most of the things we do and most of the things we believe in is simply based on an idea that someone gave us to believe in. I was born in India. I would most likely be Hindu or whatever the mainstream religion is of that place, right? If I was born in Israel, I was Judaism. right? And the list goes on. Just depends on where you were born and who you were exposed to and what their exposure was to the things, what they were exposed to. So you're being exposed to generations of teaching just by default. Not by default, by, well, this is what my peoples are doing, this is what we do. No real foundational understanding other than what they told you. And you're being led along basically with an invisible leash of information. And yet, people will die for these things. People will fight over these belief systems, these labels. They will, don't you call me out my name and ready to fight. A name they didn't even choose. Like I said, the purpose of to stop and think, where do I get my labels from? Where am I getting my identity from? What is my identity? And this is why so many people are lost, because their identity is not their chosen identity. Take my mic off here. Hang on 1 second. I need to fix something here. My camera's off there. Hang on. Wasn't centered properly. Oh, let me make sure y'all can hear me. Test, test. Okay. Y'all should be able to hear me. All right. What's up? January the 5th, 2025. Wow. We're here. And I do this every year. Hey, you know, we only got, before you know it'll be December again, all of the holidays. And the question you want to know, how well did you do? How well are you doing so far in these 5 days? You're 5 days into the new year, 2025. It's on and popping. We are there. So whatever you decided you wanted to do for this year, you already should have started it or on your way to starting. I hope you are being that you are successful in all you do. I had some goals that I wanted to meet, and I met most of them. Still working on a few of them. And so I'm feeling pretty good. Like this year, I'm getting up and going back on my morning walks on the trail. If you don't find me on TikTok. I'm on TikTok, Infinite Abundance, or you could just put my name, Akeem L, in there. You should be able to find me. So in the mornings around seven, between 7 and 8, I go for this walk on the trail, and I talk about different things with the dog. So like you'll see my face, and then you'll see the dog running and doing his thing. And today, let me see. Let me check. Like I've done it before, but today I had like 200 or so people on at a time. I was like, what's going on? What energy is different today than it was yesterday? Because I was on yesterday, I had like 12, 15, it was 20. But I was looking at my numbers, it was like 200, 100 and something. I've never seen it that high at one time. And I was like, what's the difference? What was it? What was the difference? Let me see. Let me just confirm this thing here. Um, Give me a second. Find how to get to my videos. Okay, these are the ones I'm still trying to learn how to do this. It's where you go see all your lives you've done. And I do live. A lot of people want, Akeem, how did you get live? You don't even have 1,000 followers. And I don't even know how I did it, but I got um I'm able to go live. So how do you go into the back end and see is it this? Okay, there it is. I found it. So today It had while I was live, it was 1,133 views. Got a few new followers. And let's see. I'm trying to figure this thing out. Okay, live events, live recordings. There it is. One yesterday's and today. Can I see like the analytics of that? Hang on. I'll figure it out later. But anyway, that's what I do. This is part of my becoming a ritual for me to stay focused. And that's what I suggest you do. You find something to do repeatedly to keep you focused, something different. Find something different. But let me go back to like the amount of people that was viewing the live, which I've never had that many people at once. And I thank you to whatever universal thing. But I think it has a lot to do with I made some necessary changes in my life that it should have been made a long time ago that I put off. What I'm saying is some things that the big things that you want to achieve is the reason why you may not be getting those achievements is because something you got in your life that's blocking you. It could be some habits you have. It could be even people that's blocking you. So I can't help but I made some changes yesterday and today to see the amount of, like it said, my viewership on that video. Okay. I found it. It did now. I don't know how to get back there. Okay, let's go to the studio. That one live was 113,300% up. That's a big from my previous lives that I did. That's a big jump. So let me tell you some of the things I did. I got up yesterday. I did my cleansing of the house. I burned some sage. I burned some frankincense. I burned some cassia powder, which is cinnamon. I did that early in the morning. So the house was smoky. It's like 2 something in the morning. I smoked up the house. And let me tell you, if you're doing a cleansing of your house, you need to open the windows. Okay, so if you're trying to chase off negative energy, you can't have the windows closed. You got to open up the windows or you got to open up a door so that all of that negative energy is pushed out of your home. For all of you, holy and thou, sanctified folks, this might sound like it's witchcraft to you, but it's not. I mean, because the Bible speaks extensively about frankincense and myrrh and the things they brought Christ when he was born. They were using these things. The Catholic Church used frankincense if someone is having a funeral in their place of worship, and they bring that coffin into the main building. They walk around that casket with frankincense, smoking up the place. Now, I didn't realize. You don't realize how cheap your frankincense is until you go to a Catholic funeral. Because their frankincense was it had a smell I can't forget, and and I could feel the energy of it. It was good quality frankincense. I want to know where they get theirs from. Because that stuff I got, it smelled okay, but this here was like, whoa. And you know why they do the frankincense around the casket, right? Because they don't want if just in case this person has some evil spirits within them, it ain't jumping out in their place, so they cleanse it. That frankincense is to cleanse out the air. just in case, because you bringing a bad body into there. You don't know what lifestyle they led. This is why they're doing it, and this is why you need to do this. I'm not going to tell you what you need to do. I don't want to tell you what to do. I suggest you do some type of cleansing ritual at least once a month in your home, by way of cleaning your home, and burning some type of fragrance, airing out the house, letting all of the, toxic air out, because, you keep your house in the wintertime. We like to keep our house closed in, and, you're breathing in recycled air. So open it up. So I opened up the house, went for the walk, did a live, and it was just my regular. That yesterday, the regular live was just a regular amount of people. You see about 20, 12 people on at a time. And came home and just chilled the rest of the day. Only went out to buy, go buy a few things and came home. And that's really what I've been doing since the new year. I have not gone anywhere, like, other than to the store to buy some essential things that I needed for the home. I basically been at my computer, studying, reading, playing my guitar. That's basically all I've been doing. And I realized how peaceful, I realized I enjoy my home. People have homes and they don't even want to be in their home. They be out in the street all the time because they bored. Man, I can find so many things to do. I got so many books to catch up on reading. I have so many things to study. I have businesses that I'm running and to make successful. But what I really want to stress is look at your surroundings. And if you're having some difficulty, look past the difficulty and find out, what do you have in your life right now that needs to be gone in order for you to get to the next level. And that could be anything. That could be a person, friends, conversations. It could be your procrastination. I gotta watch my TV shows. I gotta do this and I do that. So look at that, because that could be one of your stumbling blocks. And you got to remember, when you're connecting to people, let me just hone in on people. And that's a big part of our issues, I think. I think our connections with people is a big part of whether we're successful or not in the things that we're trying to do, who we're connected to. You got to remember, that person that you're connected to may be connecting to other people also that has a certain type of energy, and they're bringing that energy back to your home. You see what I'm saying? They're bringing that back to you. You see? And that's why you have to know what's going on in your circle. As much as we want to believe everybody is straight up with us and honest with us, and they have our well-being at hand, they think the best, but a lot of times that's not the case. So if you've been living a life and things been going a certain way, and all of a sudden things just seem to be going haywire, you gotta stop. And what is going on? Why is it? Because you get warnings. You get warned. I know I get warned. I've gotten warned, ignored the warnings, and I suffered because I didn't want to do anything about it. I didn't want to act on it. Let me say, not that I didn't want to act on it. I was slow to act on it. I was trying to make it work some other way. When it was only one way, was to cut the cancer off. Cut it out. Get rid of it. It's like you have a piece of fruit and it's got a bad spot in it. You cut that out. And then you got to check the rest of it to see if that bad spot got somewhere else. And sometimes it's almost better to just throw the whole thing in the trash. than to try to salvage that fruit. Sometimes we allow societal ideologies to keep us in situations we really shouldn't be in. That we need to walk away, because the one thing that you don't get back is that time you spent there in that space. You don't get that back, because all you have is now. Now is the time to do decisions. Now is the time to enjoy your life. Now is the time to level up wherever you want to go. Now is the time. It's not tomorrow. It's not yesterday. It is right now. And if there's something in your way, and most of us know what it is, but we don't want to do it about it. One of the most difficult things that we find is not accepting people as they are and how they present themselves to us. We sometimes tend to accept people with the idea of how you want them to be and hope that they'll match that. They should already be where you in that space. I was talking to a gentleman yesterday. He's having trouble in his relationship where his wife wants him to make more money. And if he can't make the money, she'll make the money, but he has to help out with the children. Right? He needs to, if she's going to go out there and make all the bread and he's not willing to be the big breadwinner, I'm fine with that. Okay, well, then you pick up the slack with taking care of the kids and doing this and that, right? So he says to me, she's always talking about money. That's all she does is talk about money. And I said, well, explain. What do you mean by talking about money? She just talks about taking care, making more money so that they can live comfortable. And I said, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with it? What do you have a problem with her talking about money and being able to live comfortably and being able to go on vacations? I don't see where the problem is. But money isn't everything. I said, well, we're both talking on a cell phone right now. I have a bill to pay for that. You have a bill to pay for it. There's money right there. Sounds like you're driving in your car. You're spending money, right? You're circulating money right there. When you go home, you're gonna have to pay to keep the roof over your head. There's money right there. So far as I know, in this life, in this existence, everywhere I turn, there is some form of currency trading places somewhere, somehow. So that means that currency circulation is a big part of your life. Yes, it is one of the things that is a major part of your survival. So yes, you need to be thinking about increasing your bread every day. I think you have what you call a money rejection complex, as Reverend Ike would say. I didn't say Reverend Ike. I said you got a money rejection complex. And this is why it's tough for you to make money, because you believe that it's something wrong with thinking about money a lot. What you think about is what you will become. If you want more money, you need to think about more money, having it already. I'm in abundance. I have it all. You have to have that consciousness about yourself. I mean, the proof is there. People who think about not having money are in poor conditions. They live poor because they simply believe in poverty. They believe in it. They're not believing in it like, I love my poverty. No, they believe in it in ways by saying, I'm broke. I don't have a lot. I wasn't born with a lot of money. My family don't come for a lot of money. We don't have it like the other people got it. See, they speak to their poverty. Whereas the wealthy speak to their wealth. Today I'm thinking about going and investing in this. I'm gonna buy some property. Oh, what's going on with this company? You think that's a good idea for me to invest in that? They're having these conversations. I heard something that made total sense to me. It says, poor people talk about people. Poor people talk about other people. Medium or regular folks, or medium people with, simple incomes, do like the everyday working person, talk about events. Like they talk about current events, like what's going on in the news, what's going on in the world. And wealthy people talk about how to increase their wealth. So the reason why poor people are poor is because what they talk about is other people and what they're doing. They into everybody else's business but taking care of their own. Usually these are the ones that you'll see ready to fight to go to a concert and all of these things, or watch some sports event on TV. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with those things. Where it becomes wrong is you spend more time entertaining yourself than leveling up your income. That's where it becomes a problem. Then you have the average working person that just gets off the work to go watch the news, go watch the next movie, and they talk about things like what's happening in the world, like what's happening with politics, who's going to be the best president, and things like that. Who cares? They see, but the wealthy people know that their wealth is going to control who's going to be the next president. Wealthy people talk about control, things that they can control to further their interest of being, keep them wealthy or being even more wealthy. And see the issue this gentleman have, he wants to entertain himself more than go level up his income. And then he asked me, is there any other way I can keep my family together without having to make more money? I said, that question right there is the most craziest questions I've heard in a long time. That means you're not willing to work to bring in more money for your family. You're lazy. Because every man should be thinking about securing a positive future for their family. Meaning, what I mean by that, where there's that money flowing in, nobody has to worry about things when it comes to expenses that pop up. I believe that's the job of the man. Protect and provide. Someone's asking me, what about your daughter? I said, like, I believe that a man should not take on a family responsibility if he don't have the income or the means to take care of that family on his own without having the other income. Not that the other Kim she wants to make money, that's fine, but that man should have the ability to take care of it all and be willing to do that. If that's the responsibility you want to take on. Shouldn't take on these responsibilities. I made that mistake when I was young, taking on those responsibilities, and wasn't really ready for what it had, what was in store for me. Wasn't taught. But if I had to do it over again, I would not start a family unless my pockets is straight. I would not put no one through that. But because think about it, you're putting someone through stresses of worrying about paying bills if you can't do it. Not to say you can do all of that and still and lose it all. Yes, you can. That's possible by bad decisions. I have a homeboy who had big debt, and he worked through it, and his wife trusted him, got themselves out of it, and they lived well. See, that's a man. That is a man. They built up a lot of debt, and he figured it out to get them out of it. He got them out of it. But that's a man. That's what we call men. Men, we have to step up. We want to be leaders. We want women to follow us, but yet our financial literacy is in the toilet. Yes, you need to love, nurture your family too. All of that is great. But it's easier to do those things if you got the bread where you could just relax and be able to you can work on all of those things. But listen, to run a family, to keep a family afloat, you need bread. You can talk about love all you want. Love don't pay bills. People say, well, you need love to stay in a relationship. But I don't agree with that. I don't agree. What you need in a relationship is patience and tolerance. That's what you need. There's a lot of people out there say I love them, but I can't be with them. Right? You need patience and tolerance to stay together. And you need some good finances. You need good, and if you're gonna build any type of wealth, you need to work together to build that. So who's out here? Let's see. Like an apple says, peace to the gods, much light to all. Indie Circle Ministry says, peace, my brother. Fred Mitchell says, thumbs up. Hey, Indie Circle, if you want me to come get that deer, I don't mind driving up there to come get it. He killed a deer over the last week, and he's gonna bless me with some deer meat. Peace to everyone in La Vida. DJB Thunder says, morning, everyone. Says, peace, love, prosperity, and extreme wealth to everyone. Road Warrior says, peace, prosperity, and extreme wealth to all. I think that says ism, says peace. I'm not sure if that's an L or I. Congratulations on the big 2012 live numbers jump. Thank you. Peace and love to all. Cacnez says peace all. I was trying to talk to you about increasing my wealth. You told me I was being greedy. Nah, but dude, you was the way you was trying to, you were getting the money. You get the money, but you trying to listen. You was worried about something that had nothing to do with increasing your wealth. That was getting more of what you already got, getting added to your. Don't try to tell me I'm telling you to stop being greedy. Yeah, mess with them. I ain't gonna go into depth on that. Me too. 18, my first kid, Ronnie Davis. Now, 44 with 5, 4 grown, 1 5. Okay. Necessity. Anybody in the DMV area mechanic here? Oh, mechanic in the DMV area. What's that? DMV. What is that? I'm not good with that acronym. Fred Mitchell. I'm 44, 11. Okay. Irvin J Productions says, peace, Akeem. Try some bison burgers. Oh, yeah. If somebody kill me a fresh bison, I'll take it. Probably was. I'll take that fresh bison. One thing I wanted to add in, like I was saying, who you connected to is bringing energy into your home. Just like who you're bringing in energy. And whoever you're connecting with outside of your home, you're bringing that energy into your home. Now, how much do you value the peace in your home? How much do you value that? So you got to be careful who you're connecting to. Oh, District of Columbia, Maryland and Virginia. Okay, got you. So he's in the Maryland, Virginia area. He is a mechanic. Go shout out to him if you're in that area and you need oil, you're driving through and you break down. But how they gonna contact you? You ain't got no contact information up there. Brett Mitchell said deer burgers, yum. You need to give them a way to contact you, my brother. I don't mind advertising, but There's not enough information for them to contact you. He wants me to talk on trust a little bit. Now, this is Sunday show where I don't really get into trust talk, but if you have your mom tune in tomorrow at 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. Eastern time, I will talk about trust. I will get into that. Or you can just take it to my channels. I got plenty of videos about trust on there. Just play some of the old videos on trust. But today is about inspiration, keeping up with your goals, staying true to yourself. And what I mean by staying true to yourself, cut out anything and anybody that's interrupting your peace. Sometimes we tolerating things we shouldn't be tolerating. Some of us are just tolerating this blatant disrespect. And we, for whatever reason, won't let it go. Come on. Your progress. See, sometimes the people that you're connected to are not. See, God got something for you specifically. He got you were here, unique. You have a divine purpose in this world. Not your friends, not your family. You do. Right? Like Christ came into the world with the divine purpose. His mother didn't have it. Her purpose was to bring the Savior into the world and raise him up. But see, Christ had a divine purpose exclusive to him. You have a divine purpose exclusive to you. Your family is not going to be able to go there with you. Most likely they won't. That's what the whole example of Christ was talking about, right? Well, how he lived his life. His family didn't show up. His mama and another Mary was hanging out when they were putting him through all of that drama or putting him through all that hell. No brothers, no cousins, nobody else was there. You can't tell me they didn't know about it because a great crowd that was chanting, impale him, doing all kind of things. Not even his boys, his apostles was there. Because you have a divine walk you're supposed to walk. But yet, you're not going to get to your promised land, your individual blessings, because you got people attached to you that are not allowed to get it. And as long as they're there hanging on to you, you're not going there. And some of y'all, I'm hitting home. I'm hitting a home run. Y'all thinking, you know what? Ooh, Hakeem, what is he saying now? Because I know. Although we have unique gifts, we are not all that different. We are not experiencing different problems. We all are having the same problem. And that problem is not knowing and understanding our true purpose and who we are when it comes to God. Not knowing how divine we are. That's our problem. Because once us not knowing that leads to all of these other symptoms of depression and conflict and dysfunctional homes, dysfunctional finances. Not knowing your true connection with God. Really understanding and understanding that is causing all of the other issues. That's why they say get closer to God. Get closer to God in the correct way. Have a personal relationship. And the thing you really, really know where God is in you. That's the only place you're going to find God, within you. You ain't going to find him in the sky. You're not going to find him in the church. I don't want to go to church. Yeah, it's fine. Go to church and have that fellowship. But God is not in the church. He is in you. How can I be so bold to say God is not in that church? Because go watch and see what goes on in the church. All the crazy stuff. Those are some people professing to be God acting in an ungodly manner. The true place where God resides? In you as on the individual level. Go look for him there. You want to call her, him, her? Go look right there. God within you. And you'll see. Christ is not coming on a global scale. He's coming on an individual scale. Once Christ arrives within you, the Spirit of Christ come within you, that's when Christ returns. See, this is why it's so the churches has taught this misdirection. Oh, wait, wait for your day. Christ is coming. He's coming to save the world. Blah, blah, blah. They've been saying that for centuries. They've been saying that for thousands of years, couple of thousand, three, whatever. And people today are more lost than they ever were. Why? Because they're looking for Christ to come on out of a cloud somewhere instead of looking for Christ within them to arrive. Connecting and tapping into the Christ mind, the Christ spirit, and then Christ just arrived. Once you recognize where the Christ is, that you are the Christ you're looking for. You're not going to find it in your husband. You're not going to find it in your wife. You're not going to find it in. You're only going to. And here's the thing: once Christ arrives in you, the Spirit of Christ tap into the Spirit of Christ and connect and abide with the Spirit of Christ in you, then you'll be able to see Christ in everyone else. Then you begin to see people who they really are despite their actions. And this is not to say because you can see the Christ in other people that you continue to keep them in your presence. No, because some people haven't come to the recognition and realization of who Christ is and where Christ resides, and they ain't ready. So you can't be connecting to that because they ain't tapped in yet. But you can still look at it from a distance and not have judgment on them. See, we do a very good job of judging people for the things they do or have done. We do a very good job of that. You shouldn't judge, but doesn't mean that you should be hanging out with certain folks. Don't judge, but know that your connection with that person that's not quite tapped in could contaminate you in your walk. Let's see, chat. Somebody asked, what part of Maryland for the mechanic, Ronnie Davis, son of the one true king, said peace and greetings. I came. Feel like DMV is really DC, Page County, and Norva. You got to give them some contact. You got a website. You got a phone number they can call. Because this video is going to be up there for eternity. So people are going to come watch this, and you put your number up there. They're going to be calling you. You want the business, they got to be able to tap in with you. Yes, some people will hinder you and some will help you. Yes, that's true. But once you tap into the Christ mind, guess what happened? The people that are supposed to be there to help you along your journey will show up. They will just show up. And I will say this before I close out. As soon as you cut those negative connections, guess what's going to happen? Those blessings that have been on hold, they're going to come and they have a downpour. Watch. I promise you. You're going to get a downpour. But you can't get it until you cut these things that's blocking you off. Remember, God made this world like a buffet for you to pick and choose and get what you need. It's there. The only thing that's keeping you from having all of what God has in store for you is yourself and your unwillingness to make changes, your unwillingness to cut things off, that the cancers that are in your life, you're unwilling to cut that out. And so who's slowing who down? You slowing yourself down. Period. You know how I can speak with authority on that? Because I have done that same thing. Refuse to cut things off that I know needed to be cut off. No matter, I teach all this stuff all the time, but I still fall victim to my own words that I caution you about. See, there's not a person who sits out here and ministers and they are not tested by their own things they try to teach other people. So if you one of those people that want to get up here and teach, get ready. You're going to be tested by the words you trying to put out there. And you be honest about it. Be real about it. Yeah, dude. I'm tested by everything I teach. And when I start getting hit with these things, I'm like, why is that? Because you taught that, bro. What do you expect? You can't be out here teaching people this and then you ain't gonna be challenged by it. You better get real. You said you want to be out here telling people this and that. Okay, well, let's see how you're gonna live it. You can talk it, but can you live it? And can you talk about it when you go through it? Can you be real about it? Can you be real and say, listen, fellas, hey, people, ladies, gentlemen, hey, all the stuff I'm teaching, I have the same problems you got. I have the same challenges you have. Only difference between you and I know the source of where my issues are coming from. Some of y'all have not quite adopted the idea that where the real source is. My disconnection with the divine mind. And why do I disconnect? Because there's things out there that distract me. And I allow myself to get distracted. See, that's what you got to be real with it. You can't fix anything without being real with it. All you're doing is talking. All you're doing is talking. If you can't sit down with the people you're talking to and tell them, listen, hey, I'm working on the same things you're working on. I just might be in a different space. I might be at a different level. But I'm working on the same things, keeping my mind positive because negative stuff jump at me all the time. And sometimes I don't recognize what's coming at me. And then before you know it, I jump right in trying to retaliate or do whatever. Then I go, hey, wait, what are you doing? You know better than that. Even Jesus retaliated to a degree. Didn't he go into that temple and throw that table over when they saw that they was turning his father's house into a house of thieves? And then he called the scribes and Pharisees, he called them sons of vipers. That's something to call somebody. Sons of vipers? Imagine somebody walked up to you and said, "You a son of a viper." That is some harsh words. He called them out. So even he spoke in a way most people said was ungodly. And that's the thing. That's an example. Sometimes we got to call out people. Hey, your actions is not good. You got to call it out. It's okay. You could not judge the person by just the actions. Hey, this is not good actions here. And we're not going to sit here and just overlook and walk over like it didn't happen. That's like walking a pile of mess. Your pet poops right there in your living room and you just walk around it like he didn't do it without correcting the situation. Got to call it out in a loving but stern way. Anyway. All right, people, it's 10:55, January 5th. I'm going to allow you guys. I'm not going to hold you guys up. I know you want to enjoy the rest of your Sunday because some of y'all got to get up and go to work. And you want to enjoy. But remember, stay focused. Stay focused on moving that needle forward. It's 2025. It's a 9-year. What I mean by 9-year, for those who not are familiar, you add up all the numbers together, you come out to a 9-year. This is a divine year.
And the powers that be know that 9 is a divine one of those numbers. That's why they make your social security number 9. They EIN numbers are 9. Uh-huh. And in some states, your driver's license is 9 digits. Right? So they know the power of these numbers. The Bible talks about numbers 12, 24, 7. Those numbers are very powerful numbers. PG County, MD, DC, Virginia, from Alexander City to Manassas, Woodbury, Prince. Okay, Ronnie Davis. I still don't see any contact information in there. I mean, you're telling people how they gonna find you, Mr. Davis? I'm trying to help you out here. I mean, when I'm looking for a business, I need a number, I need a website, some way to contact. I don't know. Am I missing something? You want people to come do business with you, but you just giving them a location in the area where you are. You're not giving these people specific place to how to find you. The main thing you need to give them either a website or a phone number or an email address. I'm gonna slow it down and hope you put something up there so people can see it. And tell your mom I appreciate she wants to know more about trust. If she can get on tomorrow, I will talk about trust specifically for your mom. All right. I'm waiting on Ronnie Davis. I don't want to shut the show down. I'm trying to get the man some business. Give him time to get it together. Maybe. Maybe I read that wrong. Let me go back. Did he said it says is a necessity. Something is a necessity. Anybody in the DMV area mechanic here. He says he's a mechanic. That's what he's telling me. That's what it's how I'm reading it. That's what the comment says. Bread is necessity. Anybody in the DMV area mechanic here. That's saying that he's a mechanic. I got his picture up there. He got them. Okay, I starting to see what's going on with Ronnie David. His little profile picture there. Okay, you have a so they look you up under Ronnie Davis. You don't have a website. Well, how do people contact you if they want to get their car fixed? On Facebook? All right, I'm leaving that one alone for now. He'll figure it out. Go look for Ronnie Davis on Facebook. But hey, brother, if you want people to take you seriously, you might want to change that profile folder too. Picture. That's just a suggestion. Do what you want. If you want people to take you seriously, your profile picture is not something that I would be promoting if I'm trying to run a mechanic business. Yeah, we're missing some likes. Missing about 4. How many likes we got up here? We got 11. Yeah, we need some likes. Some people watching need 4 more likes, please. I can use all I can get when it comes to likes and shares. Please share the information. Oh, before I go, I'm glad Ronnie Davis told me up. So I am going to have a 1099 workshop or a webinar workshop for people who are not in my group. The people in my group, is not necessarily for you to take this workshop. For one thing, you already know most of the information, and any updates y'all need to get will be done in a private membership this month because we'll be having a meeting every Monday in January on 1099. So tomorrow we are having a meeting. I'll send an email out to remind you of that. So you need to be on. If you're in the membership, just show up to the meetings. But for those of you who are not in my membership and you want information on 1099s, I'm having a separate workshop. The price for that will be about $60 something, $67. I got it. I'll put the price together for you. But anyway, Son of True Cream, peace again. Oh, anyway, peace, prosperity, extreme wealth to everyone. Have a good rest of your day, and keep moving forward, moving that needle forward. Peace. How you've been given a label from the time you exited your mom's womb. And this is what you have identified with for most of your life. This is my label. This is my name. You had no choice in that name. You might even appreciate the name. Not saying that, hey, be upset about being named. Purpose of me saying this is to get people to understand that most of the things we do and most of the things we believe in is simply based on an idea that someone gave us to believe in. I was born in India. I would most likely be Hindu or whatever the mainstream religion is of that place, right? If I was born in Israel, I was Judaism, right? And the list goes on. Just depends on where you were born and who you were exposed to and what their exposure was to the things, what they were exposed to. So you're being exposed to generations of teaching just by default, not by default, by, well, this is what my peoples are doing, this is what we do. No real foundational understanding other than what they told you. And you're being led along basically with an invisible leash of information. And yet people will die for these things. People will fight over these belief systems, these labels. They will, don't you call me out my name, and ready to fight. A name they didn't even choose. Like I said, the purpose of to stop and think, where do I get my labels from? Where am I getting my identity from? What is my identity? And this is why so many people are lost, because their identity is not their chosen identity.